Okay, so we've beaten about the bush a little bit, and now it is full-on Norse time. So at 2 o'clock and 40 minutes this morning, Games Workshop did their fancy team music show for Norse. Ben, were you surprised to see Norse release being previewed?
Not in the slightest, no. But
Why is that?
well, the old Yeti, old mystery Yeti.
Yeah, the Yeti did spoil things massively. I love that. I do think that's wonderful. Like, part of me, obviously, is sad that we don't have a brand new team surprising us. But also the excitement of receiving a model that you didn't buy that wasn't even previewed yet. When the Yeti, that's just awesome. Like,
That
I
is.
hope they do that again because that was wicked. I thought that was a great way to get the information out there. Anyway, 2 o'clock, 2 something in the morning. It was the Adepticon preview. They previewed some stuff for their other garbage games, but we're going to talk about Norse, and then we'll probably end up talking about some of the other stuff that was showing off anyway. Anyway, Norse are here. They have landed. The video is cool. And Ben, did you watch any of the stream, or did you catch any of the
I
words?
haven't. No, I haven't. Talk about preparation. No, I've seen the little video trailer.
Yeah,
We did,
that's it.
but no, I haven't seen this.
So, like I said to Tiff, like, should I do it 6 o'clock in the morning or 3 or 2 o'clock? She was like, Ben, you're being ridiculous. Don't do it at 2 o'clock. And then I just woke up at 2:30, couldn't get back to sleep, so came in here and did a quick sneaky filming sesh, and went back to bed at 4:30 once it was all posted. I woke up at 8. And she was like, "Oh, you're not doing your filming." I was like, "I've already done it. It is all done." And she was like, "I didn't hear you." Tiff is so sensitive to sound, light, and occasionally me just being alive next door to her upsets her during the nighttime.
Romance isn't dead.
Oh, it's amazing. She's so sweet. She's the sweetest person in the world. But at bedtime, it is bedtime. Like, I'll just be merrily playing Wordle or just a game on my phone or something, and she'll be like, "All right, I think it's bedtime now." I was like, "Oh, okay, let me wrap up." And she's like, "No, I'm going to turn the light out." And just turns the light out and goes to sleep, and then gets really huffy if there's any kind of light or sound on the go. So I was like, "This is going to be very risky. I could be up against a very angry Tiff." So I kind of talked really hushed, and it worked. It worked. She didn't wake up, and we got to do a very early preview. So yeah, watch the Norse stream, and there's a couple of changes, and it's super interesting. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk through the news release, to look at the models, and then we'll take a quick break and we'll talk about some of the changes and what we expect them to be. But I mean, Ben, I know you've seen the video, therefore you've seen the whole team.
Yes,
What do you think to the models?
I really like them. I really, really like them. I think they are probably definitely one of the more detailed Blood Bowl teams that we have now. Like, there's a lot going on some of these models, like the Berserkers, I think they are, where they have quite extravagant armor buns.
They got a lot of stuff. They got a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
the team, as it was spoiled, was 12 dudes slash dudettes and two little piggies that we will talk about in a minute. The breakdown of the box was that there are two berserkers, two Valkyries, two Ulfwereners, and 6 linemen and 2 aforementioned piggies. So 14 dudes in a box, and the armor style is kind of Slavic, I think. They've got that Kislev kind of trait where they've got
Kind of does, yeah.
a bit Mongolian, like with
Yes.
the fur outlines to stuff, and
The circular bits
yeah,
of armor.
circular
Yeah.
armor, tufty bits, and also the baggy pants. Sorry, baggy trousers.
Yes.
Um, there you go. I've offended England now too. Uh,
Racking them up.
yeah, I know. Go doing the world tour. This was not what I had in mind. But yeah, there's a ton of detail. Like on their helmets and things, they've got a lot of the ringlet insignia. There's a bunch of beard. Is there beard stuff, or is it just hair? Like
Oh, there's a lot of beards.
a lot of beards, a lot of braids, a lot of detail. Do you think the team's more or less detailed than the Marauders from Khorne, than the Khorne team?
Well, this is more than corn. One
Yeah.
doesn't actually have a huge amount going for it. Like, not going for it, and that's wrong. They're fantastic.
Oh,
But it doesn't
now
have a
you've
huge
offended
amount.
Khorne.
Yeah. Doesn't have a huge amount going on, like on the models. They're quite They're quite straightforward in a way, not in
Yeah,
a bad way, in like a really stylish way. But
these
these are like
guys.
there's a lot of detail on.
There's a lot of detail, but it doesn't look too cluttered though, which is really quite nice.
No, that's true.
But there is a lot of detail. I think super lazy, and a jolly good like agraxing or contrasting. Contrast brown is now my most favourite paint in the world. I, I think it would help pick out the details, but you'd have to do a lot of work, I think, picking out stuff on these models. Um, but
Yeah, they won't paint up super quick. These ones, I think.
no, there's a bit of trim as well, isn't there? Like around.
Mm.
Oh, that's the worst. But I mean,
I
super.
think
Sorry,
think
Ben.
something I'd say, which I actually did see. I think I saw this online. Um, I think this might be the first team we've had from Games Workshop where it really does feel like they're inspired by third parties rather than the other way around.
Ooh, okay.
I think these. I mean, I don't
For
know how
why?
long ago these were sculpted because I know production takes some time.
Got to
But
be a
I feel
year.
like these. I don't know because I feel like these are very inspired by Punga's. Punga's new Kickstarter for Norse. I think there's a lot of stuff taken from that. That's kind of like leaning into it, or like in terms of also some stylistic choices, like the beer. That's quite like a third party thing to have like this kind of theme of they are drunk. Like that feels like quite a third party thing to lean. I don't know what it is. It's just something about these models
Okay.
feel not that Games Workshop.
Um,
Like, if this was a third party team, I would not be surprised. But I am quite surprised to see this from Games Workshop.
do you know what? That is a really fair thing. So the models I've got on the screen at the moment is the one of the Ulfwereners with one of the Valkyries,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean they don't fit the classic Games Workshop bulbous proportion. I don't know. They look like they
Things
could be
that do
something else.
the things that do fit are the poses. The running poses are
Yeah.
very Games Workshop, like when they have the arms sort of in front of them with like outstretched hands. And the other thing is having the hands, which kind of like feels like they're clawing something. One of the linemen is Corn. They have straight up reused that pose. I think it's one of the
Is it
He's
the
got like a
fist
fist
in
stand.
front and knuckle dusted to the left?
Yeah, that is a Corn pose. I
Oh, it is, isn't it?
100%. It's the same model.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I like this. So we've got a conspiracy here. You think that there is a chance that they kind of were inspired by the Punga Slavic Norse thing, and then kind of
I think rush this out. I think part of me is that's the conspiracy. Is they've seen Punga
ooh,
release their Norse. They had Norse in the works. They tried to expedite this quickly, shoved out a Yeti so it doesn't seem like it's coming out of the blue too much, and then put this out before the Kickstarter gets delivered. That's my
oh,
conspiracy.
that is spicy. I do like that. I do like it. I mean,
Where can we cut corners? Oh, we can reuse the corn model. Maybe some of the bodyguards from Nobility for the berserkers. And
oh man, Ben, look at the pose of the dude carrying a beer. So, like Ben said, there's some guys in here who have got beer tankards, and there is at least one dude who's standing on a beer, on a
yeah,
on a keg. That they've got this beer vibe going through. But the pose of the guy with the helmet and the beer in his right hand, that is a nobility,
it's a bodyguard, right?
or is it a lineman? He's got the
Or is it
classic
a
lineman
lineman?
pose. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it?
How oh no, it's the second bodyguard. It's not the primary bodyguard with the belly, it's the other guy who
Yeah,
everyone
that's what I was
thinks.
thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's intriguing. Oh, oh, I do like this. Right, the style's cool. The Slavic kind of helmets work really well. I wonder. Oh, I don't know. You've got me thinking now. I wonder if they would go in Kislev, or they've maybe used some of the assets from Kislev in Warhammer Revenge of the Square Bases.
Fifth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I love the style. They could have gone
They're so cool.
random shirt off guys. My favorite pose is the Techno Viking. who's
Mm.
standing on a
Hunger also
rock.
did that though.
Yes. Yeah, I think the Techno Viking transcends company.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't think
Um,
they're the first either. So,
no, no, definitely not.
mm.
One thing I want to come across, and I super want your theory, your opinion of this, is there's a lot of debris on the bases with these guys. So
Yeah,
Techno Viking's got a random rock and a skull head. There's a keg that another dude is standing on. We try and stay away from that in Blood Bowl, don't we? Because it's taking place on a pitch. So
exactly. Yeah, it's not like a random battlefield full of debris and rubble. It's a neat pitch which you would assume has some kind of caretaker. You know what I mean? It's a sport venue. They don't just have barrel.
yeah, it's an interesting one.
Like I actively try and avoid putting like rocks and things on.
So do I.
It's a
So
bit.
I did the Artisan
Mm.
Guild, Thieves Guild, and some of them are like standing on bits, and it really, I didn't like it. I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't like this. Like they should be playing on a pitch, like they should be playing
Mhm.
on a Coliseum pitch. But I mean, some of the dwarves have got rocks and stuff on their bases, so it's not.
True. Yeah, they do.
It's cool. The poses are great, and I mean, if they got debris on the base, they've got debris on the base. It's not the biggest thing in the world. Cool design, cool concept, interesting execution in a couple of ways. But overall, Ben, how do you feel about the team?
Yeah, I feel it's good. I really like that there's female sculpts in it. With the form of the Valkyries, like I like that. I think that's something that's really good about Blood Bowl is that, especially more recently, you've had more female models
Yep.
work their way in. We had that with elves; they've got plenty. Be nice to see have like more of a choice, like different.
It
Um,
looks like there's a female lineman as well.
oh, was that?
It might just be a female head swap, um, which I think would be quite cool.
Oh yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, no, that's really good. I really like to see that because Norse has always had that kind of like masculine, manly kind of.
Over the top.
All have block. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's an overly muscular kind of vibe. So it's nice to sort of see this more representation.
So
Um,
I want to draw your attention now to the Ulfwereners because we,
mm,
we discussed the roster and whether or not they were going to keep the Ulfwereners, whether the positionals were going to change. Ulfwereners are kind of like half men, half beasts.
like the Wolfen,
Yeah,
right?
and
Yeah,
they've definitely got vibes of the Wolfen from 40k. What do you think to the Ulf models?
I think they're really good. I think they're very distinct. Without kind of going, this is kind of just a werewolf. Um, I do like them a lot. I think they're very like it's clear to see that this is an Ulfwerener on the team.
Yeah, they've done a good job, and they have just stuck a wolf head on their shoulder pad
Yeah, I
as
don't
well
need doubt.
to
Yeah.
make it there. They don't look massive. They don't look massive and strength
Because
4.
they're strength 4, aren't they?
They're supposed to be
Yeah.
strength 4. This is something that a lot of people have commented on the morning video today. It's just like the elves look a little bit small. Like maybe they're not going to be strength 4 anymore. I don't think. I mean, we'll talk about that in the next topic, but. I like the model. I like the pose. They've got that saber-toothed vibe, like from
Yeah.
X-Men. Big fan of that. Now, the Berserkers are the other positional that looks like it has stayed. And they're the guys with no trousers. They've got shorts on, and they are flat on in a war dancer pose.
Is that the
running
arm in front?
running
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
full-on war dancer.
I didn't know if it was going to be them or if it's going to be the guys with the beer and the knuckleduster.
Yeah, yeah. I think it, and I don't know if that's been confirmed or not as to whether it is those models. I think it's those guys. I think they look more different,
Yeah, that's true.
but could be absolutely wrong. I like them. There's a couple of spare heads, which is really important. So there's a helmet. All of these guys look like they have multiple appendages. So you've got head swaps and you've got arm and leg swaps as well, I think.
Yep.
So the Techno Viking's got head swap. He's got a left hand that points to the sky. He's also got a beer in his hand. The not a bodyguard, I think it's just got a random head swap. The Berserker's got a head swap. There's the Techno Viking's got either a keg to stand on or the rock to stand on.
Yep.
And
The pointing or the mug.
yeah, and the Valkyrie's got a head swap in there. So there's a lot of interchangeability here, which is really, really, really good. That started with the Nurgle team. I think the Nurgle team was the first one that had any interchangeable parts, so you could have a head swap or
Yeah,
something. And now, did Corn or did was Corn just one build?
Corn had a few different heads. Yeah, Corn had, because you can have like a lot of helmets, or you can have more of the bare-headed
Oh, that's good.
ones. Yeah, I didn't goblins have that. Was that before
Yeah.
Nurgle? Was that after
Oh,
Nurgle?
yeah. Goblins did have different heads. You're quite right.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
but
Nurgle was before Goblins.
I can't
I
remember.
don't remember either. Um, and then there are the Valkyries. So, like I said, we'll go into the positionals and the changes in a second. But as a model, they've got the running thrower pose. The design fits in with the rest of the team. This is probably the model that looks the least Games Workshop to me.
Hmm. It does, doesn't it?
I
I don't know
don't
what it is.
I don't know if it's their helmet style. It looks more like Conquest. It looks more like a Simon game. They genuinely look like they're from oh Ben, what's the game from Fantasy Flight with the dungeons?
Oh, Descent.
Yes, they've got a Descent vibe about them. I don't know. I think it's just the winged helmets with the face mask. I think they look really cool, and I think we'll see these models being used as throwers in other teams.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, that's really cool.
I think it's wicked. First female thrower in Blood Bowl, I think. Oh no, the Wood Elf is a thrower, female thrower, I think. Is that right?
Yeah,
Maybe. I don't know.
is it?
Doesn't matter. It's a really cool sculpt, and I love that they've gone with it. There are no catchers here. There are no throwers here. There is only the Valkyrie. So we don't know entirely what that means, but we do know that there's two Valkyries in the box, two Berserkers in the boxes, two Ulfwereners in the boxes, 6 line dudes and dudettes in the box, and we come to it finally. I'm going to use the proper terminology here. The beer bores. This
Beer balls.
was a bit of a twist. So the box does include 2 of these little pig guys with a beer barrel strapped to their back. I have subsequently started calling them man beer pig.
That is good. That is very good.
But these. So one thing that was absolutely not. See, this is it. I was very trepidatious when I did the video in the middle of the night. I didn't want to commit because Wade on the preview had said these are positionals. They are going on the pitch. They are 20k a piece. But I still don't trust them to get it right. That might just be my corporate side coming through, where I don't trust anybody to do anything properly because people are not good at sharing information correctly in corporations. But he did say that stuff. So it's.
And also, when they had like the team shop video where they kind
Yeah.
of do all the team angles, they're in that, and
They
like the
are.
tokens and stuff never are.
So we've got beer pigs, and one thing they said about them, here we go. The team has some unique positionals, including the skillful Valkyries, the brutal Berserkers, and the even more brutal Ulfwereners, who look like they could have flown in straight from Fenris for a game of Blood Bowl. Our favourite player, however, is the Beer Boar. Not only do they provide a quick mid-game pick-me-up to the rest of the team, but they'll surely be challenging the Avatar Arcane for this year's Miniature of the Year prize. So these are little dudes. And in the article, it says they provide a quick mid-game pick-me-up. But also, when they were doing the preview, they talked about, they can be used at halftime to. No, I can't remember. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, to revive the team, to inspire the team, or something.
Could it just be like a cake?
It could be like a cake, and this is what we are going to properly bandy about in a minute, because it is probably the. Oh, golly, my gosh. That was loud. So apologies for those of you who are listening. That was uncool of me. I pressed play on the video because I was like, I want to see the whole team together. And then Games Workshop was like, boom noise. The video was cool. The team looked cool. Where's the picture of the whole flip-flopping team? There we go. Flip-flopping team. I think they did a bad job with the pitch.
Oh, I don't.
And the reason I think they did a bad job with the pitch on the display of the video is because it is a vanilla pitch, right? So,
right.
And they've got ice stuff in the background with white around the base, and it's just chucked on the pitch. It's the least finished one they've done so far, Ben, which does play into your theory of speeding it through the works, which I'm now properly intrigued by. But yeah, you're right. We've got pigs. The pigs are on 25mm bases. They are wee little things, and you get 14. And the most important thing about this is something that Milton pointed out to us when the Yeti was spoiled, is the Yeti was the number 15 player. Because we talked about it, didn't we?
Yeah.
About there being 14 players. And you know what? There is 14 players in this box, including the 2 man-beer pigs. Which is really interesting.
Mm.
But, I mean, 14 players is a really good buy-in point. Yeah, you've got to get the Yeti, but depending on the price point for the Norse team and the positionals, you may not want the Yeti. You should have the Yeti, but then I am incredibly biased towards big guys, especially ones with frenzy. So, I mean, you know, think of that what you will. But as a release, Ben, what do you reckon?
I think it's really good. You know, Games Workshop always do fantastic teams, don't they? Yeah, whether you can get the full team for prices, we'll have to see. Like, we'll have to see. Like, they generally seem to be doing that though. Like,
they've got better, haven't they?
Yeah, like I say, you get the full team in a box. Like, that's usually easier with newer teams than it is older ones.
I think the best example of this, where I think they overly did it, was the Lizardman team. Where they've given you all the positionals, so all 6 Sauruses, but not really enough squigs.
Squigs, getting hopeful.
Skinks. And if you want to have an all skink team, or you need to pad out your skinks, you need a second box, and you end up with too many Sauruses. When it comes to the Norse team, there will definitely be a point where you might want more line people, and a second box means you're going to have spares. But those berserkers, you're going to have spare. The Ulfwereners, you're going to have spare. The throwers, you're going to have spare. They're perfect. You can use them in other teams. You can use them as star players. You could do other stuff. Like having a couple of those berserkers as a blitzer in any other team, wicked. Like, awesome. Having the Valkyrie, you get 2 of these. You run the one Valkyrie in an OWA team, the other Valkyrie in your Renegades team as a thrower, if you're going to be that kind of guy. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. And 2 boxes just seems fine. I think it's probably because they've trained us to buy 2 boxes. But I think getting 2 boxes because it's an expansion as opposed to a requisite is great. And I'm loving the pigs. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to take a bit of a deep dive into how the Norse roster looks now and what these positional changes could mean for the team. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.